with a video that I felt like I wanted to just talk about. Earlier today I tried to do a video and I noticed that the signal was going in and out. But I want to talk a little bit about the dating scene as a black indigenous feminine being. You know, what gets me is that we live in a culture that where black women, a lot of them, are constantly talking about how they are the most unprotected and how they don't feel seen and feel heard a lot of times. And at the same time, we live in a society where I don't know. I guess black men a lot of times are so in love with themselves because of the church system, how how things are set up with the church. Um, these niggas are so in love with themselves because we taught that the creator is a man, and so a lot of these motherfuckers are so in love with themselves. Wait a minute, I want this to be. Hold on. This shit right there. I need to get this bitch balanced. I want the light to be better. So I'm gonna try to do it like this. But yeah, I don't feel like that's a good light. Let's do this. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of them is so in love with themselves that things just ain't, I don't feel like it's I feel like the feminine men, the feminine males that don't nobody seem to want to date, you know, um, oh, they're feminizing the black man, and oh, they, the black man is feminine. But that's the thing to me. Does feminine necessarily mean that you're not gonna be able to protect your family? Like, what's the real issue with femininity? Are y'all threatened by seeing femininity in males, or does it turn you off? Because we're often hearing this thing that, if he feminine, he won't be able to protect me. And if someone rests in their femininity, does that mean that they're not capable of violence? Because in nature, the female is often the most the most aggressive, the most volatile. Like the female, I mean, they got some of them called widows, like because they literally will eat their young and eat their husbands, and so I just don't think that feminine energy is an indicator of weakness, like we've been programmed to think in westernized culture. You may not always have the impact because you don't have the physical strength, but that doesn't mean that you don't have the strategy and the discipline to be able to defend yourself and to protect yourself. So, why are black women, like not all black women, but why are some black women really just like fucked up about feminine men? Hold on 1 second. Baby, it sounds like it's giving a real cut up, and I'm trying to do a live video, and y'all supposed to be asleep, huh? Oh, wow. I can't even focus on the video because all I hear is JoJo, and it's like 10 o'clock. Oh, wow. Well, let me go ahead and call his mama. Okay, well, let me go ahead and call Kia and tell Kia so she can get you a nice one when she get in. Cause this is doing a bit much, honey. It's giving much, honey. Now where was I? Yeah, I wanna talk about like I don't have anything against dating a feminine man. Feminine men don't want me though. They really honestly don't be wanting me. Now, I don't want to date a trans person, like a trans girl. Like I'm not interested in, and this is no shade. I'm not interested in dick and titties. Like, but I can date a feminine male body being. You know what I'm saying? I could even date a trans masculine being who still has titties. I could date a masculine woman, a masculine female. It's just something about that. When I was with Sasha, I would never give her head because it just felt weird sucking a penis to a trans woman. It just felt weird because I see myself like that's I don't know. I guess that feels incestuous. I guess that would be the best thing to say because I had titties and a penis. So sucking on, I've done it before for money. Now I've done it before. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna start this live over. Just leave him in here and just shut the door. Just leave him in here. He can't. He keep coming out. Yeah. So get in your bed. I think he doing that though because y'all laughing, y'all making him think it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Do I need to leave the door open for just a little while? I mean, yeah, cause he's been dramatic, like somebody, like he done got a whooping or something. Like I don't even understand why he crying. Nobody touched him. Yeah, but in trying not to get a whooping, you working on one. It's like backwards. Like no, if you don't want me to tell your mama, then just go to sleep. It's not rocket science. Child, I'm trying to do this video, and every time I get good into the video, I get interrupted. Every time I get good into the video, I get interrupted. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna start this video over because I feel like I need to start this video over. It was like I had this good ass topic in my head, and this whole thing, the shenanigans. Now y'all know y'all got school tomorrow. It's 9:55. Why are you still running through the hallways, giggling and cackling and laughing? You got to get up on the plantation. Massanesian schooling. Now you know I don't like the mammy shit, but I don't want them, doing nothing, trying to mess over nobody. Baby, go school, get your education, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. We navigating this matrix until our people come together and say we won't do something different. Then, baby, you got to do what you got to do. But you know the thing that upsets me with my people is you motherfucker. It's you people that want to go above and beyond the call of duty for massa. That's the ones that get on my nerves. It's not you doing what you gotta do. It's you going above and beyond the call of duty. Bitch, if you see me in this store and I stick a pack of meat in my purse, if I steal a pack of meat, bitch, I must be hungry, bitch. Bitch, how dare you try to turn me in and take me to jail, bitch? Bitch, if I'm stealing, I must be hungry, bitch. Nah, if this Saks Fifth Avenue and I done been in here every day this week tearing y'all up, bitch, at this point, I'm just shopping. So that works on all levels because then you have people who want to just constantly take advantage of the system. It's like we know the system don't give a fuck about us. I remember I remember when I was younger, and I'm gonna get back to the topic. I'm gonna get back to the topic, but y'all be patient with me. But I remember when I was younger, um, when I used to work in the French quarters, I would always turn the tricks. Like I wasn't a girl that was known for picking the tricks pockets. But it was some girls that pickpocket. It was some girls that did not turn tricks. It was some girls that would not do that. They'll take them niggas money. They'll rob them niggas. They was the pickpockets. And I used to look down on the pickpockets. This was my mammy moment. This was my mammy moment. Even hoes can be mammies. Even hoes you could be an underground railroad mammy. And I used to be, don't be robbing them tricks. Don't be stealing from Massa. He's gonna give it to you. All you got to do is fuck him. Don't you be robbing these good white men. Don't you be taking these money. They comes out of here and gives it to us. All we got to do is turn the trick and turns it right. Girl, how you a baby and a prostitute, girl? How you a prostitute baby, girl? Joa, so you back out your room? So you're literally back out of your room. It's a joy. But yeah. Like I was literally a prostitute mammy. I was a prostitute mammy. So I know you could be out there in the streets. I wanted to protect the white man. I can remember they used to want to beat the white man up, take his money. We used to be out there in the streets. See, this was back in the day before Katrina. This was before Katrina. This was when New Orleans was really for black people. This was before gentrification. This was when niggas was niggas. This was when the drugs was real and they wasn't stepped on like it was a parade at Mardi Gras. This was when the drugs was strong, the dicks was long, and the niggas was everywhere, and everything got hard and hit hard, whether it was in your ass or the top of your head. Yes, honey. Baby, what they said on the bunkers, those were the days. Yes, ma'am, honey. Yes, sir. Them was the days, baby. Before Katrina. Oh my goodness. And a lot of the dudes that I respected, because I'm not gonna lie, and this is in line with the topic of the video. When I was younger, I didn't want a feminine acting gay boy. Now I would have dated one because I've always been kind of open minded, but I didn't find femininity more attractive than masculinity. And I think that was grooming and programming. I think that's what was intentional. And see, this is what I don't respect about a lot of cis or non trans black females is that you're not willing to have this conversation about how you've helped. You literally had your sons, your male children, your XY children in a church praying to a man. And y'all wonder why they misogynist. Then y'all will sit up here and cry and say, oh, we didn't have no choice. But then y'all will turn around and say how strong y'all is and how resilient y'all is and which one is it, baby? Which one is it? I know you could be all of those things at one time, but you sent your children to a church where they could pray to a man and you wonder why they misogynist. Child, I thought men was the bee's knees, honey. Every Sunday I'm sitting up there talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Solomon, King James, Joshua, Jonah. We what? How many women we talked about? Bathsheba, Mary, the other Mary. Uh, how many women do the Bible really talk about? How can you exalt a book that erased you, love a book that erased you, and then turn around and want to call out individuals for being misogynist? Make it make sense. Why am I fussing at the leaves that's falling anyway instead of addressing the roots? Why are y'all always going for low hanging fruit? Because that's what Funky Dineva is. That's low hanging fruit. Like, if we're going to have this conversation, let's have this conversation. And out of one side of y'all mouth, you support men in being this image that does not reflect you or show you. You don't want him to be feminine. You don't want him to be comfortable with himself. You don't want him using your pronouns. You don't want him in your spaces. You want him to be, you don't want him to have nothing to do with any of that. But you want him to love you. He don't even fucking know you. He has no access to you. You've made him feel uncomfortable every time he exhibits anything that mirrors you or reflects you. It sounds like The Bible has taught you to hate yourself. Praising him and worshiping him seem like it has taught you to hate yourself. That's why when we're talking about misogyny, we have to talk about what's been internalized. How you feel about your femininity and how you feel about your your connection to womanhood and your foremothers. How you feel about that, like doing that work should be the work that you all are doing now rather than going after low hanging fruit. You sent these boys off to militaries and off to churches where they could worship their likeness. And now you mad because they don't respect yours? Child. Child. Oh, mm-mm. You grown, you created these monsters. Like you helped at the very least. You cannot blame everything on these men because a lot of them aren't even that smart. A lot of them are very simple. And that's why I stay by myself. Cause baby, you very rarely can find one man that could be everything that you need. Baby, I had one time. He married to a female now. I'm gonna use that word. But baby, baby, when I tell you that dick was good, he I always used to get a nut first. He used to kiss all on my sores, everything on my body that was ugly. He made it feel pretty. He was creative. He was spiritual. He prayed with me. He was strong, but he was feminine. And he liked to get fucked. He enjoyed it. I don't know if he enjoyed it now. I think he probably feels shame about it now. He dealing with some trauma. But back then he used to like that dick. And I struggled with that because he was so controlling. Like it was kind of sexy though. He used to open. I remember what made me and him get into it though. I remember one time we was walking into a restaurant, and this was when I was, I still had my penis, girl. I was castrated, girl. I still had my penis, girl. But I was binary fish, girl. I wanted, the boys to open doors and pull out chairs, honey. I wanted all that, girl. That's where I was at, girl. I'm trying to prove my womanhood, girl. Girl, we goes and sits at the table, girl. We goes and sit at the table, girl. Girl, we walks into the restaurant, girl. We had just went to church together because he used to go to church with me and everything. So, girl, we leaving from church, girl. We walks up into the Dairy Queen, girl, to get something to eat, girl. I'm waiting for him to open the door for me. He gonna look at me and tell me, why I gotta open the door for you? We both getting fucked. We both sucking dick. What you doing that I'm not doing? Bitch, I felt like I had been punched in my fucking face, bitch. Cause he wasn't lying. Why should he open the door for me? Bitch, we both was fucking each other. We both was sucking dick. We both was born male. Why should he be opening doors for me? Cause I'm wearing weave? Cause I grew titties? Cause I got hips? Cause I got ass? That's enough to open the door. So I actually got it, and I think that's why it kind of hurt me. I think that's why I felt the way. And after he said that, I knew I wanted a sex change. Like I had thought about it a lot. I had thought about it all the time. It was two times when I knew I wanted a sex change. When that happened to me, and I remember one time, I was like, this was right after Katrina. I was in the bathtub and I was castrated, and I had my orchiectomy, but I hadn't had the full surgery, and this was right after Katrina. I was living in Atlanta, and my boyfriend at the time, God Goddess, I'm just sending a prayer out to that child right now because that child have been through so much. I think that child in jail right now. I wish that I would have raised that child, and I wish that I would have had the sense that I had now, because I don't put my hands on children. I talk to them. I let your mama beat you. I ain't about to put my hands on you. But when I used to be watching over children when I was younger because I was beat on, I used to be, like if I had to babysit and I had to watch the child and I was really in his life, from the trauma that happened to me, from me getting my ass whooped, baby, I used to mollywop the children, baby, I ain't had no patience for no little children, bitch. You be disrespectful, bitch. I'm gonna beat your ass. I don't do that no more. I haven't put my hands on no children in, oh my goodness. Like I haven't popped a chair in over 10 years, maybe 10, 15 years. Like I just don't, I let your mama whoop you. I let you, I don't feel like it's something that I have to do. I don't feel like it's my place, um, my place to maul on a chair. But anyway, I'm in the bathtub, and my ex-boyfriend, the baby is 1 years old, and he comes and put the baby in the tub with me. Now, of course, I'm tucked my shit between my legs, but I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable. And I think that's a part of, I think I had a subconscious resentment towards patriarchy when I was a child. I couldn't articulate it. I didn't have words for it. But because men made me feel a way, because I was feminine, because I got picked on in Boy Scout for being feminine. My my step grandfather was ashamed of me. My uncle was ashamed of me. You know, I had to apologize in front of the church when I was little. Like, so many male figures, I started losing my male best friends, and so many people, so many male figures when I was little made me feel away. They didn't receive me, they didn't celebrate me, they didn't love me the way that I needed to be loved. They didn't embrace me the way that I needed to be embraced. So I think subconsciously I resented them. So I never wanted to look at my penis. Don't touch it. It was always between my legs. Even when I was walking around in the house naked, I would always walk around with that girl tucked. I never would let that girl hang. I was never proud of that girl. I was never proud of that girl. She was the bane of my existence. Before I got ready to get rid of her, though, I did talk to her or him, whatever you want to call it. I did talk to that part of myself, and I did make peace with that part of myself. See, some of us, we regret the surgery because we don't make peace with that part of ourselves before we change it. But I taught my daughter that. All of my daughters, I said, girl, before you get ready to lay on that table, you better talk, have that conversation, because you're not killing that part of yourself. That part of yourself will always exist in here because you're whole. But physically, you are You're purging yourself of that, but you need to make peace with it before you do it. You can't do it with resentment in your heart because you needed to heal from the trauma first. You need to make sure you good with this. And but I did realize, when I got on testosterone after the surgery, I made peace with a lot of the men in my family. And as I began to make peace with the masculine people in my family, um, I began to have more peace within myself. And that was also when I didn't feel like I like getting the pussy for me, it freed me to be more whole in how I express myself. Because it's like I didn't get no pussy to sit around here and playing makeup and lashes and put on wigs. Ma'am, I laid on a table and was butchered for this shit. Bitch, I'm not finna run around in wigs and lashes and see, I was telling one of my girlfriends this the other day. Like, it's different for I guess the younger generation and for light skinned girls because competition for them is different. For me, I know that by the majority, by the status quo, by those in power, I am gonna always be perceived as a nigga, and I'm okay with that. I love, I love my niggerness. I love my niggerosity. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't trade. I don't want to be anything else. I love my crooked teeth. I love who I am because I know my soul. I know my heart. What I don't give you here, what I don't give you here, it's in here. So I love, and I wouldn't be like this in here if it wasn't for what I see when I look at me. It's a package deal. Some of us look like society think we should look and be drop dead gorgeous to the people in society. But you ugly inside. You hideous. You a viper. I would rather have my crooked teeth, my kinky hair, my wide nose. I would rather have everything that's wrong that society say wrong with me and have the type of heart I got. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm thankful for me. I'm beautiful because I'm beautiful in here first. And it takes time to get there. That's the only thing I don't like about, when queer people commit suicide, queer black people, queer indigenous people, you know, um, I always pray that they know who they were before they leave. I always pray that they get to that point of understanding, who you are, getting a chance to love you. But I'm so thankful for the way I am. And like, I don't have the depression about getting the sex change. I'm not one of those girls who's sad about it. Now, sometimes I feel away because my pussy ain't that deep. But they say girls with big booties can't take dick anyway. They always say the girls with the big old booties can't take no dick. So hey, I'm living up to the living up to the expectation. and and where I'm at right now in my life, I'm happy to say I don't even want niggas be trying to talk to me. I be josting off them niggas on that app. They be like, send me a picture. I be like, why? I have several pictures on my page. What do I need to send you another picture for? Oh, I want some sexy pictures. Can you hit my cash app? Or are you going to hit my cash app? Because if you're not about to hit my cash app, then I'm not about to send you no sexy picture. And if it's real sexy, you will get a picture with my head not in it from the neck down, depending on that coin. But but yeah, girl, you know a girl can be industrious when she need to be. Not to say that I'm around here sending pictures, because I'm really not the picture sending girl. But I'm not finna sit here and say I ain't never sent a sexy picture for a coin. Not finna say I ain't never sent a sexy picture. Then they got some people who ain't got to send no coin to get a picture. They got some people who ain't got to send no coin. They just brilliant and intelligent, and you just love their mind, and you just want to bless them with a picture. But yeah, anyway, the point that I was making about this black women not not want to date feminine males. Like, now in my maturest level, I understand that it's all drag. Literally, it really is. It's all drag. Like, everybody is performing. None of this shit is real. The manhood ain't real. It's performance. They groomed to act like that. They groomed from childhood by the spaces they put in, going to jail, going to the military, going to the academy school that they have to go to, all of the male spaces that they put into, all of the girl spaces that the girls go into. They're groomed to be like, this is all performance. Like, they pick out the clothes for you to wear. Girls wearing skirts and boys wearing pants, and child, this is a whole motherfucking play. This is motherfucking Lifetime theater. And it's a performance. It's all a performance. I think the happiest people in the world are the people who love for energy. Like when you meet somebody, it's the energy. Like, it's, you're drawn to that person. You love being around that person. That person makes you happy, and you see things in that person, that you see their spirit. To me, I think that's those you shouldn't want to be with someone because of their physical aesthetic. Yeah, you want to be physically attracted to them, but if we lived in a society where you went to church, let's say for example, and this is why Laylim Layler is so important to me. This is why my spirituality is so important to me. So in the church that I envision, and in the church that I've been working on since 2015, I shared an old video today, and I've really been paying attention to when I really just started to embrace this process. But in the church that I envision, it is a repetitious prayer to Mother. And if you notice in all of my art, I'm working, I'm casting. You know, this is why when I see black women on the street who are rude to me and talk down to me because I wasn't born with a womb, because y'all letting this internet get y'all caught up, when you don't realize that it's XY beings who was born with penises, who out here in this struggle, who casting with all of their might, who chanting with all they might, who praying with all their might for the shift. And for some of you to disrespect me just because I wasn't born with what you was born with, when I've been around here worshiping, helping to manifest what's coming. But We have to stop being afraid to partner ourselves with individuals who aren't afraid to be whole. I give gay men their props. Some of them will date a trans man. I give I really do respect that. I give everybody who is able to move past genitalia and start to just love on each other because you feel a connection to that person. You know, I hate this conversation about the effeminatization of the black man. I feel like it's a con and it's a hustle because black if we just allow them to be whole. Now, now, I think some of it becomes rebellion. I think some of it becomes extreme because it was never celebrated, it was never accepted. So you have some of this flaming sissy energy because it's a form of rebellion, because they have not felt accepted. It probably wouldn't get to the point of looking like a perversion if we would have embraced it to begin with. Imagine going into a church. I'm not going to say that some people are not going to be extreme because it's just some people nature. But imagine going into a church where you praying to both the masculine and the feminine. There's a feminine form right next to a masculine form, and you are honoring them both equally. And you do that from childhood. You do that from as early as you can remember. So neither representation feels inferior to the other. So imagine having a generation of offspring that looked at the world like that, didn't think that they were better because they were a man, didn't think that women were inferior because they were women, women not thinking that they have to submit, and men not thinking that they always have to lead. Imagine that. And I'm not saying that men always have to lead. I'm not saying that men can't lead. I'm not saying that um women should never be submissive. I'm not saying any of these things. But I'm saying imagine living in a world where we have that grace and we have that space. Some people gonna still want to do it old school. And if that's what you like, don't let me yunk your yum. But I don't think that everyone should have to subscribe to that. And I think that when we call ourselves black people, blackness is supposed to have the capacity for the things that whiteness has not had the capacity for. And if I'm not mistaken, it's white supremacy that's around here overturning Roe versus Wade. Is white supremacy that had the biggest problem with gay marriage the whole time because they was over there doing shock therapy on people and shit. Like, which is odd because you have people going to church. Like the craziest thing to me is how these so-called psychotherapists and doctors didn't understand how gay men would be homosexual. And it's so funny if you literally pay attention to a lot of the gays that were around when we were little, most of the white homosexuals, they were really, 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 really into the Bible. Baby, them white homosexuals when we was little, oh baby, they knew every scripture you could. Baby, they loved that word, honey. And how could you not love a man when you sitting around all day long and Matthew told Paul and Peter told John, Isaiah told Matthew and Abraham, just men talking to men, men with men in the morning, men with men in the evening, and men on men at night. Men, 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 manly men. Man. Let me, you get the point. Ooh-wee. This is why it's so funny to me because when I watch mainstream, I just laugh. Like because and then so much of society is being dumbed down. Like society is really like people literally legit being dumbed down and don't nobody care. That's why I painted this picture that I painted today. Y'all know. That's why I painted this piece that I painted today. Yes, honey, let's look at this piece before I get ready to light a candle and wrap this up, honey. Wait, hold on. I had painted this piece today, baby. Yeah, you can't really get into it now. Wait, hold on. Yeah, but there goes. See, look at that. There go capitalism, honey. I don't know why that light is on it like that. But there go capitalism, honey, and over the city, honey. It's a fire, honey. And baby, the good alien goddess, God, the whole one, the they them honey and rose up honey and the volcanoes is overflowing and lava just going down and they got a typhoon what you call that when it's spinning like that in the middle of the ocean honey going and around in the middle of their body honey and maybe they got the fish and the octopus and the other fish honey and it's all just going over there to put the fire out, to put out the fire of greed, honey. Yes, to put out the fire of greed. And that was what I was working on today. That's what I was working on today. Art is important for me. Michelle, if it wasn't for art, honey, I always say if I don't make something, I destroy something. And baby, that's why I always be making me some jewelry. I be making me some, I be painting. I be doing me some sculptures. I be making, honey. Because, baby, I know if I don't make, I destroy. And I'm not going to say I ain't going to never do that. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it right now. I just keep making. And I feel like that's me spinning my cocoon. That's me, you know, putting out the intentions, to prepare us for the next phase of consciousness. Like I'm casting right along. That's why, baby, I'm one of those girls. I'm one of those beings that I really honestly don't feel no ways tired, in this whole gender war and in this whole race war neither. Because I'm doing work within race and I'm doing work within gender and sex. And I do it creatively. I've learned how to do it with my art to where I'm not just always on social media screaming and yelling at the camera and get mad at people. Now I'm human and I'm whole, so I'm gonna have those moments. But my art helps me to be able to get it out in a way where I don't always have to be like screaming and hollering and ready to fuck some up. You know what I'm saying? Ready to end my life or somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? So, my art brings me that type of peace. And I'm thankful for it. It doesn't matter if you understand it. It doesn't matter if you want to buy it. What matters is that I understand it. It gives context to my being, it helps me to put things in perspective. It helps me to navigate this reality. When I look at my art, I see hope, I see potential, I see I see another world that I'm manifesting before I even begin my physical transition. And you know what I've been thinking about here lately? I don't feel like I transitioned. I feel like that's a word that white supremacy gave me up on this plantation. And and one of our members who was a part of Attentional Flow, who went back to being a who went back to well, who decided to perform as male, um they used to say that they evolved. And that's how I feel about my existence as a trans person, or as who I am as a lay lim lay being, as a whole one. I don't think that I don't think that I transitioned. I think I evolved because I didn't transition to fit into the world the way it is, the way it's been. My transition wasn't to just accept my role as a woman. Now, true, I like having a vagina because for me, when I go into spaces with beings who do not have penises, um, who have cycles, who identify as women, in order for my peace of mind, because of the generation that I came up in, I didn't want to have a penis on my body. I didn't want to tote that. Um, but I'm happy that I've been able to do the work to make space for girls who do want to keep their penis and girls, because I don't think that every girl should get rid of her penis. I don't think that every girl should have the sex change. I don't think it's for everybody. And I don't think that you're less than me or you're beneath me. Um, I hope that one day, we'll all be able to sit in these spaces together and we'll be able to be comfortable in these spaces. But I think for me, I'm a part of that facing consciousness. I'm not going to say I'm a part of a generation that needed it because I think that there will always be girls that will choose the sex change. I think 20 years from now, if the surgery is available, girls will still be choosing the fucking sex change because some girls just want a fucking sex change. Some girls just don't want to tote that. And so I want to be um I don't want to be a girl that makes girls who choose to keep their penis feel uncomfortable, but I also don't want to be a girl that can't celebrate not having one because I don't want to offend the girls that got one. I don't want to be a girl that has to diminish my experience and my journey because I'm trying not to make a girl feel insecure or make a girl feel intimidated. No, ma'am. Celebrate having your penis. Live your best life with your penis. I want that for you, sis. I want that for you. But understand, I also want this for me. I want what makes you happy, just like I want you to want what makes me happy. That's what it's about. It's about us respecting and seeing one another. You know what I'm saying? And I said earlier, I think the reason why I couldn't be in an intimate relationship with with a girl with dick and titties because it would just kind of like feel incestuous. It's because that was me. I've legit been there. Now, the thing about being with a female, I think if I, because I haven't had sex with, the last trans man I was with had top surgery. I don't think he had breasts. And the one that I was talking to really didn't have no big ones. Like they was really, really small. But I don't think I would be fucked up about, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say that I probably wouldn't deal with any insecurities if I was to be with not necessarily a trans man, but if I was to be with someone that was born with a vagina and identified as a woman, because they pussy, deep and wet and got all of the stuff going and stuff. Like, I might have a little moment of insecurity, like, but you know me, I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna talk about it, I'm not gonna be shame, I'm gonna be like, yeah, girl, I'm feeling the way because your pussy is wet and deep and stuff, girl. Yes, girl, I'm going through it over here, girl. I think I would get over it though. I don't think I would be like stuck there like 3 years later. I'm still her pussy deep and wet and she got fallopian tubes. And I don't think I would stay there. Like, but if I'm being realistic, I probably would have that moment where I'm like in my feelings for a second. And I think that's natural. Um, there's a on Baidu, there's a lesbian who hit me up the other day, and I was thinking about making a song because a chubby dude hit me up, a lesbian hit me up, and a white man hit me up. So I was like, I said, I got a white man. I got a white man, chubby man, and lesbian. A white man, chubby man, and lesbian. A lesbian, a lesbian. A white man, chubby man, lesbian. Bitch. I was talking about making a song called White Man, Chubby Man, Lesbian. But yeah, like, I think I would go through like a little moment of insecurity. I think I would, I think because that's different, and then like with the stuff that I've been dealing with. But if they was really, really masculine, but yet at the same time, they was the type of person that was to just look upon my pussy and they was to be like, like I have the story played out in my mind. Like they looked at my pussy and they was like, wow, so you really went through all of this because you wanted your own pussy. And they just go down and they just start kissing him. Oh baby, I love this pussy. You sacrificed for this pussy, and just be kissing on that pussy and licking on her. And just be looking at me telling me, oh baby, I'm so proud of you. Oh, this your pussy. You put in work for this pussy, huh, baby? Just kissing that pussy gently. I think I could get over it. I think I could get over it. I think I could get over. I think I could get over my insecurities if I met me old lesbiana that treated the pussy like that. But you don't meet lesbianas that act like that. You meet lesbianas that want to be worshipped because they pussy real or because they were born with a pussy. Them the type of lesbianas I be meeting. I be meeting the lesbianas that want to be like, bitch, worship my cat because my cat is biological. And girl, although your cat is biological, you're not really like giving me eternal vibes right now though, girl. Because girl, your biggest claim to fame, girl. I know y'all happy I put some lotion on these lips. But girl, your greatest claim to fame, girl. Your greatest claim to fame, girl, It's your real coochie, girl. That's your greatest claim to fame, Mo. It's your real coochie, girl. So, girl, you finna keep throwing that at my face, girl. But yeah, girl, it would be real cute. Like, it would be real cute, girl, if I was to like meet a lesbiana, if I was to meet like a trans man who was just like obsessed with my coochie, just like obsessed that, like just understanding like I was born with my coochie and I take my coochie for granted. But here it is, you laid on a table so that you could get this pussy. Like you risk your life so you could get this pussy. This is so amazing. Let me taste that pussy. Let me eat that pussy for you right now. And you know what? You need this pussy ate every day. We gonna love on this pussy and this pussy gonna get prettier as the years go by. And every now and then we gonna bring in a piece of dick. And we both gonna get us a piece of this dick together. Cause I love you, babe. And ain't nobody gonna never come before you, babe. I love you. We pussy partners. Pussy power. Pussy from sacrifice and pussy from birth. Oh, thank you. If I could get old lesbian, old trans man that thought like that. bitch, I, bitch, I get old lesbian, old trans man that thought like that, bitch. Ooh, girl, if we rule the world, we'd free all our sons. I love 'em, baby. Black diamonds and pearls. If we rule the world. But first, a lot of these beings who was born with wombs have to begin to work on that internalized misogyny, that internalized self-hate, so that they could stop being so fucked up about um when XY beings want to embody and emulate and channel that half of themselves, and lean into that, and celebrate that as their dominant half. Where I'm with you is, I don't want to see you be disrespected. I don't want to see you be talked down to. I don't want to see. I didn't like what Funky Dineva said about Haley. That was wrong. I didn't like when either of them was talking about her pregnancy and saying she should come out and tell her. I didn't like any of that. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to do the work on themselves because they've been too busy benefiting from male privilege. Why would you do work on yourself when you're benefiting from being toxic? And so I do get y'all holding Funky Dineva accountable and the like, but make sure you're doing this work on yourself too, boo. Make sure you're working on yourself, because some of y'all gonna be around here calling out stuff when you need to call yourself out. Because, baby, I can remember back in the day, honey. I remember when I was a mammy and I used to be out there in them streets, honey, um, hating on them girls who was pickpocketing and robbing them men. Would not turn no trick with them men. And I used to turn tricks with them men, baby. Honey, I remember one time. But I used to get blessed too. Like blessing would come to me too. I remember one time I was with this man and we had just finished fucking like cats and dogs. I didn't tell him my tea. And he was a white man. When we got back to the room, baby, I whipped out that dick and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know." And, "Oh no, I'm not giving you no money then." So that was the hustle. He said, "I'm not giving you no coin because you wasn't born with no pussy." So chill, baby, I fucked him in his ass. He fucked me in my ass. I sucked his dick. He sucked mine. We had a good old time. Now, mind you, I didn't really live for pouching niggas like that. I just was doing it because I knew that's what that white man wanted. So I'm trying to get me an extra coin. But when I used to get to the room and I didn't tell them my tea and I knew they didn't know my tea, I wouldn't ask for a coin up front. So I would try to work for a coin. So this was one of those times where I didn't get my coin up front because I didn't tell him the tea up front. So the goal was to get to the room, get naked, and see if I could talk him into it. So child, we motherfucking went at it. We had. He dropped to his knees. He started giving face. I gave him some face. I did his cookies. He did my cookies. And and normally I don't let them white men do my cookies. So I had let that white man get some cookies. And child, when I was getting up, getting ready to leave, I asked him for my money. And he said, I ain't giving you shit. So I'm standing at the foot of the bed and the mirror was going to the floor in the hotel room. Wasn't a very smart man. He hid his money under the bed, so while I'm standing in the mirror getting dressed, I looks down at my feet, and my feet is showing me the money under the bed in the mirror. I wasn't no, I've never been the type of person who was unfair. Like if you fuck over me, I will take from you. If you play in my face and I know you playing in my face, I will take what I'm owed. I will take what I feel I deserve. But I'm not just gonna fuck over you. Like that's never been my character. It was some girls who would have took that whole fucking stack and ran out that room. I wasn't her. So it was 100 and he I don't know, he might have had like 1,000. It might have been over $1,000 under that bed. It was a lot because I counted out um I ain't gonna lie, I counted out $125 because I used to get this was over 20 years ago. So, this was more money back then. But I counted out like $125. And I used to get 25 for my cab and 100 for me. So I took my little $125, put it in my titty, and I twirled out the room to go get on the elevator. And I was sad because I had to motherfucking damn near threaten this nigga. Like I told him, I said, cause he didn't want to give me the money when he saw me. He said, "Give me back my fucking money." When I was walking out the room, I said, "I'm not giving you shit." I said, I call the front desk and tell him I'm motherfucking 17 years old and tell him you up here sleeping with little boys. You a child molester. That's what I said, and it scared the shit out of him. I said you'll be in the fucking paper. So cause he was an older man, he was probably in his mid 40s, and even though I was like 22 years old, I could still pass for 17 at the time, 16 or 17. So I was like, bitch, I say I'm a minor, bitch, or bitch, I get somebody over here. So when when I got on the elevator to go downstairs, that weighed on my psyche because I had just given this nigga the time of his life. I felt like he should have been happy to give me the money. Like you had it wouldn't have cost you. It wasn't gonna hurt you. It wasn't gonna break you. Nigga, you literally just didn't want to give me no money and you had it. And so you really had like this whole redneck attitude where you went to go and wash up and you was like, bitch, I ain't giving you shit. Oh, okay. Well, bitch, I'm about to call the people up here. Bitch, what you not about to do is leave me with a wet ass, and bitch, you don't even want to give me what the fuck I asked you for. So I took my money and I left out the room, but I'm not gonna lie, I felt like shit. Like, like having to argue with him about my money, it it made me feel low, made me feel I just couldn't believe. I felt like I was young. I was attractive. I was a dancer. Like I was exotic. Like, why the fuck you ain't want to pay me? Like, like that really, really messed with my pride. So, when I got on the elevator to go downstairs, nigga, nigga was holding their head down like this, and it was around Mardi Gras time. And another white man stepped on the elevator. And when he got ready to get off the elevator, he looked at me. He didn't even know what the fuck had happened. And he said, "Buck up." He said, "Hold your head up. Don't be sad like that." And gave me another $100 bill. Didn't ask me for my name, didn't ask me for my phone number, didn't ask me for nothing. Just hand me $100 bill. And that was when it started to dawn on me that I didn't have to do the things that I was doing to be okay. I think that was the moment that a light went off in my head and told me you don't always have to do some of these things that you're doing to be okay. Like, you are a good person. You deserve blessings. You deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to have to always compromise yourself and always put yourself in harm's way in order to be okay. You deserve to be okay. And yeah, so he gave me $100, and he just walked off the elevator. And so that was a turning point for me. And I'm not gonna say that things didn't get uglier before they got better, because when you're being called to a different journey, when you're being called to a different path, sometimes things have to get uglier before they get prettier. This is just the reality of it. Sometimes, yeah, yeah, sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. And for me, they did. But the things that kept coming up for me was I started meeting guys that I did not have to have sex with, who were giving me obscene amounts of money. Like, I started getting money from just conversation and from just like going out to dinner with them and hanging out with them and spending time with them. Like, I was meeting my best tricks and wasn't having sex with them. They enjoyed my conversation. They enjoyed my spirit and my personality and how I used to be able to discipline myself. Because even though I was a girl that got full and did various drugs, I was always, until I found out about my status. Now that's when everything went left. But before that, I had a better balance of anything that I did. So, like, if I snorted coke, or if I popped pills, or if I smoked weed, or if I smoked cigarettes, because I used to smoke cigarettes when I was under 26. And any of those habits, I would be able to stop them when I was with a date. So me and that date could be around each other for 3 days, and bitch, I will hold it together. He wouldn't know that I did ecstasy. He wouldn't know that I snorted coke. He wouldn't know that I smoked cigarettes. He wouldn't know that I smoked weed. Bitch, I could hold it together for days, bitch. But baby, when I found out my status, bitch, bitch, I couldn't hold shit together, bitch. Wake me up when it all falls down. I'm going down. I'm going down. Cause I found out my status, babe. Bitch. Bitch, when I found out my status, bitch. Bitch, I could. Huh. Baby, I was depressed all the time. Oh my goodness. It was horrible. Like, I went I went down a I went down a chaotic, ugly road when I first found out my status, jail. That was when I ain't give a fuck. Baby, I did some crackhead, cutthroat, dog eat dog world shit. Now, I never brought it around my family. I always kept it away from my family. Yeah, Yeah, I always kept it away from my family. I never brought it to my family. I did all my dirt in the streets. You know, I wasn't one of those people who got strung out and got addicted and, was around my mom and them, doing stuff to my sisters and my mom and them and stealing from them and stuff. Like, no. I cut up in the streets though. Baby, I went to jail so many times. I was a mess. I was a mess. But honey, everything happens for a reason. Everything we go through in life, we built for it. We built for whatever we go through, you know. We might not want to admit it at the time, but we built for it. And I just feel like, with all of these new variables coming onto the planet, we don't know what to expect in the future, child. We don't know like, we literally don't know what's coming. We got over 8 billion variables on the planet. I don't think the planet was supposed to divide up like that, personally. I think that's the reason why we have so much genetic issues happening because we too divided. And I think when we had the giants walking the earth, and when we had the elves and the wizards and the warlocks and the sorceresses, when we had all of that, that was because it wasn't as many people on the planet. And so primal energy, or that primordial energy, or that celestial energy, was more consolidated in certain beings, because energy is not destroyed, it's just transferred. And so, like, for example, when you in a stadium or when you live, like, imagine the electrical charge Beyonce feels when all of those people are there for her and they're focusing their energy and their intentions on her. This is why she can command the stage like she does, because she gets an electrical charge. She gets a charge from all of those people there, which helps her to do all of this phenomenal stuff that she's capable of doing. I've experienced this sometimes when I'm on live and like 100 people is on the live and 200 people on the live. Some of us are, conductors, and we can channel energy through us. And I don't know if everybody could do it, but I definitely can do it. I don't like to do it all the time. That's why I don't be mad when it, like, I used to, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be wanting buku people to be on the live. I go live at the weirdest times of day because I don't want no whole bunch of people on the live. I don't do things for numbers. I do things to document things. It's not, I don't use social media in the same way that other people use it. I use it to document. So it's not always, but I do notice that you can get jolts of energy from having a lot of people focusing on you. And so I think, during different times when there were less people on the planet, the beings that were on the planet carried more within them, because that energy is not destroyed, it's transferred. And so that's probably why we had, there was a time when we had wizards and sorceresses, and we had big creatures, and instead of a whole bunch of little small ones. Like, this constant reproduction, this constant procreation, um it's divided up the magic so much. It's divided up, all of that. Like, just the constant breeding, and that just everything gets smaller and it becomes less and less potent because you keep dividing it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you keep dividing it, it's gonna become less potent. And I think that's what's happening with us as a species. It's so much division, it's not as potent. And so um I think that if a reset happened, it wouldn't be the most horrible thing for me. You are so healthy, beautiful, and outgoing. That's inspirational from your journey. Oh, thank you. I wanted to hear that story, but didn't want to intrude. Yeah, well, I mean, I have, um, I share, as it comes up. You know, I share as it comes up. Um, this is gonna be my 20th anniversary coming soon. Um, Not September, but October will be my 20th year anniversary of living with the nothingness, the house in Virginia. Um, and I don't regret it. I'm thankful for the experience now. I could honestly say it because it showed me how the world really feels about people who who are viewed as sick. I didn't get to walk, I didn't get to have a bias or get to look down my nose because I had to live with it. So I got to see the truth. When you are shielded from things and you don't experience certain things, you get to sit in a seat of self righteousness. You get to sit in the seat of self righteousness. But I didn't get to sit in that seat of self righteousness. The ancestors said, no, not this time. You're gonna get it. You're gonna have it. You're gonna have it. You're this time when you're born. You're not gonna be born with a vagina, so you can't make any children. You won't be able to bring any babies here to distract you from your work. Oh yeah, we're also gonna give you a sexually transmitted disease, so you can see how that feels too. You can handle it. You'll be okay. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You got this. And at the time, I didn't feel like I had it. At the time, I did not feel like I had it. Yeah, I was planning my funeral and everything, but yeah, honey, the ancestors have kept me around and allowed me to work on this spirituality to publish my first book. I'm very excited about it. Oh, here it goes right here. I be buying, I be buying black. I got this book called Dancing in Time by Doris Davenport. Um, I think I'll read a story out of it before I get off of here. And this is my book, Becoming Purple by Keneen Mafa. And I'm really excited about Becoming Purple. I'm gonna read the Hattie Lee story out of this book. Not the Hattie Lee story. I'm gonna read the story that I wrote about the channeling of Francis Thompson. So recently I auditioned to play the role of Francis Thompson, and if I don't get it, I'm not tripping because girl, you can't do everything. But I did get some good news today that I can't share yet. But I want to share this this story about Francis Thompson. Ooh, Hattie Lee, I like that too. I like that story. Oh yeah. So which one you want to hear? You want to hear the Hattie Lee story or the channeling of Francis Thompson? Now Francis Thompson had to do with the railroad. No, not the railroad. With Francis Thompson had to do with the Reconstruction era. Yeah, if it wasn't for Francis Thompson, a lot of the voting rights that we have, we wouldn't have them. Like Francis, and see, I wonder when black women start to really start, when when you like, are y'all gonna tell the truth at how much of a part we played, like are y'all gonna talk about what black trans women have contributed to the freedoms and stuff y'all had, that y'all have had because of some of the things that black trans women have done, black trans femmes have done. So I'm gonna share a story first from Dancing in Time, because this is written by a black non-trans woman who is in her 70s, and so I want to celebrate her art. And so I'm going to read one of hers: Easter egg hunt, driving to Atlanta at night, gratitude for water. Okay, let's read this one. I like that one. Gratitude for water, for Ruby Sales, Cheryl Blankenship, Melody Ricks Landry, Meg Henson Sales, and Vivian Price. Watching Buffy again in reruns on TV. Yes, I know any app could stream it from the start. I got two plus the complete DVD series, so not the point much. Last four episodes in the final season. If you know, good. If you don't, not good. And sorry for you, but stay with this reconfiguration of watchers and slayers in training, ready to defeat the big ugly, the ultimate evil that maims, kills, mutilates because it can or could, until old Buff found the ultimate weapon and got a plan. We need a plan for the violent death worshiping hellmouth spawn of hetero pathologic pathology and its micro demons, varieties of liberal feigned concern. It is time. There is no more time. Where is the people's holy water? Kamala H., you got it? Where the high tech wooden stake, Warren, to stop this vileness, this worldwide destruction? What what is hell mouth is open? We need to close. What hell mouth is open, we need to close. Okay. Shut it down for good, forever. What is the plan? Now, I was really like, I think she's talking about Donald Trump. I think she's talking about Donald Trump, because she was like, Kamala H. got it, where the high tech wooden stake, warring to stop this vileness. This is open. We need to close, shut it down for good, forever. Now, what is the plan? Okay. So we have celebrated that. Now um, we're going to listen to uh, the channeling of Francis Thompson. I am the mother, the maiden and the crone, mistreated, but I am also the rainbow after the storm. I am comfort to the weary, shelter to the homeless, sustenance to a hungry soul, even brought water to those who thirst. No earthly vessel is beyond my reach. His holy words do not speak of me or much of my kind. Still, divine purpose wills that we share a time amongst the many secreted times. We, she, I, have walked among them, the sleeping masses, unknowingly, without shame. Well, except for my own occasional ill judgments of myself, but I would imagine it comes with the territory when born unto a people held captive, having to assimilate, to be viewed by the majority as attractive. Still, oddly enough, back then, those perceived differences in the eyes of the colonizer were no different in the eyes of my own. By our own, of course, we mean those who celebrate, nurture, and support our existence just as we are. We have always been more so a mirror to our mother's spirit. Just made more sense to match it on the outer form, although there wasn't much access in the way of material resources at the time. Still, we were free. And we would do up some magic with fabric, needle, and thread. We made it work as best we could. We tried to open doors for our younger sister and even offered nourishment to the famished, only to be raped by those who cared not for our culture, but only sought to conquer. We passed as a woman for nearly 27 years, respected the construct, and made our day to day moves in accordance to the hierarchy. We respected those who identified as men, understanding our place in the home, the religion, and government. We embraced our reality that we also appeared to most to have taken a demotion. Still, we submitted to them in service, only to end up serving time in prison. Then having a community that once was so accepted pitted against us. Sound familiar? But the children have come so far in understanding, yet somehow it feels closer to the beginning, to the source of it all. You know, where things all started. Nobody was telling you how to dress, how to walk, how to talk, how to act, how to behave, what couldn't be done, what shouldn't be done. Humans was just being. Mm. But in that era that we came up, once freed from slavery, part of us felt like we had a choice that had to be made. So we then chose stealth to fully embrace the path of our foremothers, foregoing the shame that placed us in proximity to patriarchal power. Mm. Foregoing the shame that placed us in proximity to patriarchal power. My God is God today. We are always reminded by birth, government, and religion of our connections to the Father. So we felt compelled to do the work that would help us to sustain our sisters, our truest siblings in energy and essence. whether by spirit or of blood. Come on now. Oh, thank ya. Oh my, thank ya. Thank ya. Oh, oh, that's good. We are those who embrace wholeness as truth and will ever proclaim that mother is always essential and ever present. She will not only be seen, but also heard. I, we, us were stitched into the very fabric of society. And as we stretch our hands out through time to guide she, them, her, Mada, Fama, and Bristers who have come before me, be reminded you can all call forth our energy through our stories, valued wisdom, though historically buried in his story, call out to us by our deeds or our name, giving the glory to the divine, adding strength to that glimpse of wholeness that lives in each of us. We have been called child, Negro, being, man, love, cripple, mockery, cross-dresser, woman, human, slave, free, sister, helper, community, family, friend, ancestor, elder, criminal, and trailblazer. But on this day, we speak as Francis Thompson, born in 1880 and ascended in 1877. We moved among our own freely and was a welcome part until the colonizer made an example of us. And our example of humanity was reduced to fodder for the livestock who masqueraded as actual evolved humans. This would shape the narrative for those like us in the future. Yes, child, sister, daughter, we endured that you might learn from our examples and take it further, healing, teaching, and guiding all who seek truth and purpose. Never forget us and where we came from. Never deny your relationship to our Father, but never, under any circumstances, diminish our mother either. Embrace all of you. That way, if the courts of these lands should ever come again, like they came for us back then, sister, Brister, you will be ready, for your liberation will not be bound by, or contingent upon, or restricted to the dysphoria that decrees that we must pass as merely a portion of all that we are, rather than all of what you are. We did as expected, fitting into our prospective boxes, but worry not. It had to be done to create the situations that have allowed for us to gain the wisdom through trial and error to arrive at this place today. If anything is gained, then nothing has been in vain. Perhaps the Big Bang shattered something, but it was not us. For it is not us who are broken, but the mirror in which we see ourselves. We must leave this plane now, but know we are sovereign, natural, and whole. We are ever near. Remember this truth always. Amen, a woman. Oh, that was a good reading. That was a good reading. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to yeah, you can order it on Amazon. Yeah, it's called Becoming Purple. You put in Kaneem Mafa and put in Becoming Purple. And what I love about this book, so I did not write it. I did not give myself a gender in this book. I called myself they, them, because I wanted um, males and females to be able to see themselves in my character, in my likeness. I didn't want to make this about men or women. So I never referred to myself as he or she in this book. When I was telling the story from youth, yeah, I used, boy and all of that, so you know how I was being groomed and how society was grooming me. So I did, explain that. But the way that this book is written, it is not for people who have short attention spans. This is not, like that's why I just cackle when people try to make fun of my run on sentences because you're trying to shame me because I can put together a sentence that has multiple points in it. Like, and you want me to feel bad because I'm not dumbing down my sentence for you? Ooh-wee. The Bible is one of the most read books on the planet, and it was full of run-on sentences in the beginning. It was full of run-on sentences. You are not colonizer. Colonizer. You will not play in my face. They will try to make me feel bad because I do run on sentences. Colonizer, get out of my face. Cause y'all like you're trying to dumb people down. You want people to struggle with this type of writing, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to make baby sentences so that it can be easier for you to understand. I write in parables a lot, but when you get into the stories, they have so much meat in them, and even though the book is literally the book is literally 170 pages, but the way that I talk, like I literally just read you 2 pages from out of the book, and we could sit down and have a whole we could unpack that story. Like we could sit up and unpack that story for a day. Like the little short story that I just read you about the chilling. So just imagine reading the whole book. Like you, even though it's just 169 pages, you're not gonna read all this in one day because you're not gonna be able to process it all in one day. So it doesn't need to be 300 and 400 pages because I'm taking on a lot of stories, and although they're condensed, because I'm not giving a lot of details about the stories, because it's more about the point of the story. Like I'm not a person who story tells to say we were in the room was brown, the room was tall, I'm not fixing to give you descriptions and blow by blow. He put his penis in me and he stroked me 7 times and he ejaculated on my. I'm not doing all that. I'm not painting those pictures for you. That's not what this is about. Now, I will maybe make something like that down the road, but that's not what this was about. That's not what this was for. This is not a very descriptive book. This is a book about lessons. It's about looking back and what I learned from these experiences. These are that's why each um it's not broken into chapters. It's broken into recollections and reflections. And so I'm reflecting on seasons in my life, and I'm giving you the wisdom that I've gleaned from these seasons. That's what this is. This is not what any other trans girl has done. This is not even what I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of black women in general write like I'm writing. You know, I think the this reminds me of the spirit of intimacy, though. It and I read the spirit of intimacy. Like, the spirit of intimacy is not a thick book. The spirit of intimacy is a book that's probably maybe not even as thick as this, but it gives you a lot. It gives you a lot. Yeah, it gives you a lot really, really quick, and so I think that if this reminds me of her, and she's a black woman, the person who wrote the Spirit of Intimacy, I think was a black woman, but this reminds me of that. But this is not what we've seen any of my sisters do. A lot of my trans sisters are very, very descriptive. They want to tell you what color weave they had on, what the shoes look like, what they want to tell you what the stroll look like and bring. I'm not. That's not what this is about. This is not. I'm not doing that. That wasn't what this was for me. I needed to talk about systems. I needed to talk about institutions. I needed to I needed to talk about my relationship with them. I needed to talk about things that we don't talk about enough as deeply melanated people. This the in the beginning, in the first two recollections, I take on corporal punishment and how we're treated in the school system. In the first recollection, I come for the school system. In the first one, in the second recollection, I come for the church. In every recollection, I'm coming for the roots of problems that we've been dealing with as poor, as black, as indigenous, as queer, all of those. This book is the foundation, because it's definitely not all the answers, because we can't answer everything. There's always going to be a mountain to cross. A mountain to climb and a river to cross. You know what I'm saying? So, by any means, am I saying that this is all the answers? But at least we having a damn conversation. At least we're starting to talk about it. So that's what this is. And if you don't have the mental capacity, just say you don't have the mental capacity, but don't hate on this book, because ever since I wrote this book, and this book was very this book has been a labor of love for me, because whew, my ex-husband, who I was with first, y'all know this was the one. If y'all was following me on Facebook, this was the one who broke the coochie and had me ready to go to hell behind him. I was so in love with him, would have did anything for him. This was the one who stretched that coochie, honey, and showed me what that pussy could do. And he died in December of 2022, and then my husband died in um died in January, and I actually, before the book was released, I actually had a chance to go back and acknowledge them in the book, in the intro, and this is what it says in the intro. It says, many names have been used to describe our being. Many of us resonate with alleged fictional beings of lore, and others we know for certain exist. We are chameleons, mermaids, dragons, butterflies, wildcats, seahorses, dolphins, phoenixes, and unicorns. We are called countless names throughout countless cultures. Some of us, some are perceived as harmful and discouraging, while others are uplifting and empowering. One of the names that have stood out most in our spirit is angel. Webster defines angel as a being who is superior to humans in power and intellect, but lower in the celestial hierarchy. This language speaks loudly through the writer because of the duality embedded in the word. It allows the reader to observe and understand quite differently how terms or titles can be used to exalt yet humble simultaneously. There are many human Aborigine offspring born specifically in the deep southern regions of what has been conquered and claimed and renamed America. Those whose spirituality has profoundly impacted the dominant culture. One example of this truth is the Southern Baptist Church. The Southern Baptist churches reach within and throughout intersecting communities. This serving as reality has historically warped some of our understanding about the word angel. We have placed them on a mental pedestal, revering them as grandiose and otherworldly. Many believe to have been sacred and holy messengers come from other realms, acting as heavenly ambassadors to the omnipotent creator of all. Then there are those who were cast out and believed to be forsaken, those who were said to have betrayed their maker to follow the alleged first one cast down to earth, Satan. Lucifer is a Lucifer is another name of Satan. He was known as the son of the morning, the angel of music, the light bearer, one of the most beautiful beings in the heavens. After his fall, he became known as the serpent, the deceiver, and the father of lies. Now, what makes this particularly interesting is that many of us were taught that angels did not have souls, therefore, they inherently lacked the free will to make such a choice, yet they did. They left their dwellings on the unseen and decided from their own stations in heaven, heavenly knowingness, to walk amongst the humans who were actively struggling to figure out their own purpose. Some of the angels were sent as divine messengers, others have fallen from grace and were lost. What a thought provoking notion! Angels, messengers, are aliens for those of us who are more scientific, walking amongst us for different reasons and different intentions on a daily basis. The truth is, no matter who sent these beings or how they ended up amongst the human species, we have not been slighted by their potential to inspire and expand mortal consciousness. However, awareness is not always a prized commodity one seeks to invest in others, especially if the intent is to have total control over others' narratives, energy, frequency, and life force. Questions arise to support this theory when we examine the experiences of those perceived to be the most vulnerable in our circle. In this collection of stories, the writer will transport the reader into a realm where modern day slavery thrives as an essential component within the civilized world. Paper, plastic, electrical, and political currency are all are all charged by a human activity. Honestly, it is our thoughts that we must all be a servant. Wait, honestly, it is our thoughts that we must all be a servant to something. Still, whatever you choose to serve or a slave for should not be forced upon you through deception and half truths. It should be our well informed choice to make. This testimony is an opportunity to further evaluate this idea. We, the writer, will share stories based on our perception of truth. We will share our life, light, and testimony as one of many angels who are blending amongst mankind. At the end of the day, at the end of these stories, you, the reader, may decide for yourself if this is an angel sent by the divine or simply one that fell from grace. Perhaps the angel was sent and got lost along the way. Who really knows? Certainly, there won't be any unanimous responses in agreement. Even still, if the reader is more aware and feels compelled to think deeper about the world around them, then it hasn't been in vain. This book of multifaceted truths, this is a book of multifaceted truths. The intent is to inspire readers to continue to study, research, and search their own hearts for clarity as to how these messages hold relevance in their own lives. May they continue investing time, meditation, and energy into these testaments of recollections and reflections, RRs. That is the format we have chosen for this style of presentation rather than calling them chapters. Each story within the book will be known as a recollecting reflection. The abbreviation of that is RR. This is to be our first published testimony and written record of our perspective. It is our prayer that it may be considered as a practical digestion for the continuous understanding, spiritual grounding, and the expansion of our worldviews in these progressive and modern times. If digested with the intent to truly empathize and collective healing, can can be that much more encouraged. It is our vision that through telling our stories, souls from all over can truly rejoice. It is then those on the path can celebrate, whether on this plane or the next. Come on now. For though for then not one word would have been written purposely. Our testimony does not seek to make villains of individuals, but rather to illustrate how we all have the capacity to create havoc and chaos for others occasionally. Whether this is done intentionally or not, it is the truth. This book is dedicated to loves whom society has poisoned, but before they left this trying world, they were blessed to see past their pain and trauma into their souls. We love them dearly. Our special friend, Aaron Lucian, and our husband, Fraisel Pantaleon. Thank you for the love, for the lessons your love has taught us. This testimony is also dedicated to our grandmother, Eula Mae Brister, Jackson Clark, the being who introduced us to the faith that began our spiritual journey, the Holy Bible. She taught us that changing our name doesn't change our roots. She worked and served under the patriarch to provide for her offspring, but around her home, she acted as sovereign. She attended to both her family and her plants with tenderness and care. She instinctively honored Mother Nature. She was indeed one of many true matriarchs. Our heritage ran like roots through her soul. It was just as her mother was in the garden before her. She also passed her connection to her daughter, our mother, Julia Jackson, who continues to care for nature, just as her mother had the capacity to raise children who were not directly birthed from her womb. So did our mother, Julia. Our grandmother is one of many who adapted in order to survive. And so her offspring will someday thrive in a world quickly changing all around. Those changes directly align with the religion that is being programmed aggressively into her generation's identities. The effects are still evident and present in nearly all of her offspring today. However, the impact of colonization has not been able to keep the secret of who we are. We still be who we be. One only has to open up their spiritual eyes to see. We are combinations of both mother and father, masculine and feminine, bitter and sweet, dark and light, chaos and order, joy and pain. I am whole. A man, a woman, lay lim, lay lur. So the book starts off. The book starts off repping lay lim, lay lur. The book starts off repping lay lim, lay lur. And you know Lay Love Lay Lur is in the final chapter. This Lay Love Lay Lur, honey. Oh yes, we get into it in the end, honey. Oh, we get into that Lem Lay Lur. We get oh yes, yeah. That 14th recollection, honey. That 14th recollection is giving you that Lay Lem Lay Lur. Yeah, honey. Yeah. I'm so excited about this book, girl. I'm so excited, girl. This is like my personal Bible. And this is how I know I've been doing pretty good because like at one time I needed to like be in a book every day like that, but like I feel like I've grown a lot spiritually. So it's like the book is in my mind, so like I naturally just like be remembering, like stuff like it's retained now, and I could break stuff down and just dissect stuff and not get stuck there. Like every now and then I get stuck there with a little something something like I did with the trans man video the other day. But for the most part I be good. And I don't think I really covered like I think that this book could definitely speak to trans men, but I don't think I really talked about like intimate relationships with trans men up in here. But I definitely feel like trans men can relate to this book. That's why I changed Extraordinary Queen. It's not called Extraordinary Queen anymore. It's called Extraordinary Being because I didn't want to erase non-binary people and trans men in the storytelling, even cis people, even non-trans people. Like I didn't want to erase them either. Child, we done another 2 hour laugh. See what y'all be doing to me, girl. Have me up late at night. Well, I'm about to get real busy though, so I'm trying to give y'all some good ass lives. Some that all'll hold you lives. But yeah, so this is the book, Becoming Purple. It is a personal Bible of recollections and reflections, and it also has pictures in it. Yeah, it also has pictures in it. Girl, this is the picture with the before and after, girl. That's the picture with my penis, girl. Before I had my surgery, girl. And that's Picture after I had my surgery. Before, oh, she had a nice little piece on. And then after, girl, let me stop. Yeah, girl, she had a nice little piece, girl. She had a nice one. That lady had a nice one. Girl, that lady had a nice piece. But anyway, let me light this candle. That lady had a nice one, Amy. We light this candle to acknowledge the ancestors who are here now, the ones who are coming, um, and the ones who have gone. Um, this candle celebrates transition, ascension, and evolution. This candle represents past, present, and future, the true Trinity, the maiden, the mother, the crone, past, present, future. Yes, we are thankful for this green candle representing prosperity. May the stories told on here tonight help us to collectively prosper as we process. Child, I ain't finna say I'm about to go to sleep, child. I'm about to probably about to hit that joint again, have me one more sip, honey, and watch me something until I fall that, cause till I go to sleep. Cause tomorrow I need to I got to fill out a grant. Oh my goodness, I got to fill out an application. I got to work on this script some more. Child, it's amazing how I could be busy and not working. It's just amazing. That's not even, I didn't really do much with the children today because I was focusing on painting the picture that I showed y'all at the beginning of the live. But yeah, I'm gonna be because I'm visiting my family up here, so probably next week I'll be by my daddy house and spending time with him. So I don't know. I stay busy, not necessarily booked and busy because I'm not really eager to build up other people's shit, especially when it's not in line with the world that I want future ancestors to come into. Like, it's it's a lot of us, we get to a bag and we focus on getting to a bag, but what is the vision? Like, what are you supporting? Because you could drop dead in the midst of that, and you will have a nasty banking account, but what are the fruits of your labor went into? Like, So for me, it's more important to be working towards the world I want to see than just to be living comfortably in a world that I can't stand. And for some people that works. It's more important to you to be comfortable in the bullshit. No. I want. I'm okay with sacrificing. I ain't gotta have everything. I'm definitely not like I used to be. Now, in the past, I would really legit suffer, and I'm not that person anymore either. I'm not gonna be around here starving and broke all the time and ain't never got nothing. When I know how much I contribute to the world and how much of myself I share, and how much healing work I do, and just how I, just what I share with the world. I do realize that I have value, and I'm not wrong for asking for people to support or asking for people to show up. I no longer feel guilty about that. I'm no longer, and if you're not invested and you don't see the vision, then you're not just going to be taking up space because you feel like it in my life. No, you're not going to do that. And I'm okay with saying that. I'm really, really not fucked up about it. Um, but I'm not greedy. Um, I'm not selfish, and I'm not a gatekeeper. You know, I could walk away, sweetheart. I don't even need to sit at the table. Bitch, y'all can have it, period. Bitch, y'all going to make me another table. You know what I'm saying? But I'll take a little bit of that to go set up mine because I earned it. I'll take my cut as I'm leaving. That part. Not know I'm just walking away empty handed. I Give me that. Carry on. But fighting with y'all to keep this forever. Mm-mm. Bitch, you can have it. I'm gifted. It's gonna be all right. Cause if you ain't got the right intentions, that ain't gonna last long no way anyway. That part. So yeah. But that's where I am in my life. Like I don't mind sacrificing. I don't have to have all the coins and all the because you can have all of that, and if you, like I said, you could drop dead and all your work would be for what? Some people be working so they don't even get a chance to enjoy the coins. You ain't even get a chance to enjoy them coins. You was hustling so hard. Oh yeah. I'm focusing on vision, honey. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on manifesting it, and I don't have to be extremely comfortable, but I just want to be okay. And I feel like I'll be okay. I'm blessed. I go by people's house. People create a room for me. They give me somewhere to stay because low key right now, girl is living from pillar to pole. Yeah, but baby, doors is open. And when she ready to get her apartment, she be able to get her one. And trust me, I still got my voucher. But yeah. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh no, okay, I'm good. I love y'all. Down but now that I say Cookie spinning an attorney in Ghani, Yonko, Kalupalo, which means I am a tropical goddess. And if I am, then you know you are. It grew stronger in the spiritual plane. Amen. A woman. Love y'all.